Belfast, Ireland is known for many things. The birthplace of C.S. Lewis, the inspiration for the books of Narnia, their 200-year-old library, and of course, the place that built the Titanic. But Nomadic are now showing why it could soon be famous for watchmaking. Hi guys, my name is Jason, I am your watch guy today. Today I am featuring the Nomadic MARAI 401. Nomadic are a watchmaker from Belfast, Ireland. And I think in the next couple of years, this is my prediction, they will be one of the biggest hitters on the British watchmaking market. I've linked their website in the description, you should definitely go and check them out. Let's get into it. This watch is incredible, and within the next 10 minutes, you'll see exactly why. But first of all, let's get something out of the way. Does this piece bear some resemblance to the Tudor Black Bay? Yes, it does. Is this piece a homage? Not in my eyes. There are some distinct design notes that you'll never see on a Tudor in this watch. Pretty much because they release the same watch every 3 months. And they seem to have gone down the Disney route in design. They seem to prefer to release a sequel of the same thing that I have seen since I was 8, instead of coming up with a fresh new idea. I feel like the MARAI 401 definitely has a lot more refinement about it, certainly in the casing and the dial. The case profile achieves a really solid fit to the wrist, and that's done through the angles to the lugs. The edges are well chamfered, giving a very distinct yet sophisticated break to the brushing of the case. Those chamfered edges follow through into the angled edges of the lugs. The crown is obviously signed with the Nomadic logo, and it screws into that casing with a very solid grip. Let's talk about the watch's dimensions. The case diameter is 40mm wide. It's 12mm thick. Lug to lug is 47.7mm, and the lugs are 20mm lugs. This casing is finished off with a display case back. It has the usual information etched around the outer edge, but the real showcase is the customized rotor that Nomadic have applied to this movement. It resembles the propeller of the Titanic, the ship that inspires this watch. Now, it is a distinct inspiration for the MARAI. However, that inspiration is shown in small, subtle nods rather than a really brash expression. I feel like they've kept that refinement and resolve in order to make sure that the prominent focus of this watch is on the build quality and design. The bezel is a ceramic bezel insert. It has stark white markings, time markings throughout, numerals at the 10-minute intervals, batons at the 5s, and we do have a really nice dive indicator for the 15-minute mark. It's completed with a triangle at the 12 o'clock, which does have a lume pip. The sapphire crystal on this piece is subtly domed with anti-reflective coating applied on the inner side of that crystal to ensure that there is no scratching over time. Something that can definitely be missed when you first look at this watch is the slight angle to the bezel. From the front view, it does look like it's completely flat. However, when you get up close and personal, you can see that it subtly raises into that crystal. The Emerald Abyss dial is completely stunning. It's a gentle use of colour that you don't often see used by the bigger Swiss brands. The tone that they've used gives for a flat, expressive background to the markings on the dial, as well as the applied indices that sit on top. But when you catch in a certain light, the colour is just fantastic. We have a triangular indice at the 12 o'clock with batons at the 6 and 9, and this iteration has the date window. You can pick this up slightly cheaper, I believe, without the date option, and if I was buying this watch, that's the way that I would go. The Nomadic logo is printed to the dial at 12 o'clock, usual specifications above the 6, but my favourite piece of print on this dial is below the 6 o'clock, built in Belfast. They are obviously a very proud and patriotic brand, and I can definitely appreciate that. The date window that is on the 3 o'clock is a white date wheel. Now, I understand the choice there without colour matching because it does sort of balance out the indices at the 6 and the 9. I really like the way that they've gone with their handset. The sword style minute hand is matched to a baton style hour hand. It's also so well sized that it meets the batons at the 6 and the 9. I do really like that small touch of precision. For me, the yellow second hand really does highlight the dial. It sets it apart from a lot of other brands. They've used a really bright colour and a lot of brands are afraid of that. However, it's not just a nice colour. This is actually inspired by the two cranes that built the Titanic, Samson and Goliath. Yes, they're named. Yes, it's really weird, but it's the Irish. Let's get a look at that Lume Shot. Do I really need to say much about this Lume Shot? As you can see, it's pretty much nuclear. You can see that it's that bright that it's actually lighting up the rest of the aspects to the dial. Obviously, this has been charged, but what I will say is that this is definitely one of those watches that when you've taken it out into the daylight and come back inside, you're in a little bit of a darker setting, it glows on wrist. Now, they haven't done anything incredibly different with this Lume Shot, so you know that the 10 is out of the question. I think this is a very solid 8. If they wanted to improve that lume score, then personally I'd have to see the entire bezel lumed or a few little tricks. But as it stands, perfect everyday watch type of lume. Glows in the daylight. Absolutely love it. The 3-piece link bracelet tapers towards the clasp, gives a really nice fit to wrist. These are screw links with a heavy brushed finish to match into the clasp and the casing. The clasp does have high polished chamfers to it, which matches to the high polished edges of the case and sides of the links. The clasp itself is very simple in design, double pushers and a small Nomadic logo up in the top corner. This one definitely achieves that really nice fit to wrist, and they've done that in a couple of ways. They do have a quick adjustment system in the clasp, but they also have really small female end links. Let's get this one on wrist to show you how it looks. This is the Nomadic MARAI 401 on wrist. That 40mm case diameter really makes it one of those more universal fitting watches, and more to the point, those lugs that curve towards the wrist, as if they're built to contour your wrist, really make it a very easy wear. I can very much imagine this being an everyday wear for a lot of people. And if you're going to spend around £1,000 on a watch, that's exactly what you want, isn't it? Something that you can wear at any occasion. I think you can tell by now that I really like Nomadic, and I love working with them. I think in the next few years, we'll really see them solidify their place on the market and see them become one of the premier British watch brands. However, there are some downsides to this piece and definitely points that I would like to see improved. The first thing I'll mention is the similarities to the Tudor Black Bay and other high-end Swiss watches. Personally, I understand there's only so many ways that you can make a wheel until it's a bloody square. There are definitely some similarities with the Black Bay, I can see that, but I don't think there's nearly enough to call this a homage or anything along those lines. Many have noted this, but personally, I just don't buy into it. Secondly, we are dealing with an emerging watch brand. That means that there isn't that wealth of brand recognition that you expect when you're about to spend around £1,000 on a watch. Personally, I think it's well worth it, but I know that a lot of consumers will be wary. I really do believe that the design, the quality workmanship, and the build quality that this watch has, along with that SW200 movement, really does make this a very exciting prospect. As well as that, you can see their confidence in offering a lifetime manufacturing defect guarantee. I can't wait to see more of their brilliance, and hopefully we will see a new model come along soon. Thanks for watching today, guys. As you can tell, I am a big fan of Nomadic. They really do remind me quite a bit of Christopher Ward in their emerging years, but I would love to know what you think of them. Let me know down below in those comments. If you are interested in finding out more about them, their inspirations, and their watches, the link is in the description. Make sure you go and check them out. Remember, if you want to see more watch content, then you need to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.